say comfortable. Nothing's comfortable in the NBA anymore. But we had a lead in the fourth, and they did a good job getting back into it. Take the lead with 10 seconds to go, and it's easy not to. It's easy to be down on yourself and frustrated. There were some plays in the fourth that I wish I didn't make and that I made, a couple turnovers, and just to have that opportunity to get us a big road win. Obviously, with a lot of people hurt, it's special, But like I said out there, we wouldn't have been in that position if it wasn't for everybody that chipped in tonight. Jake was monstrous. I think that's the best basketball game I've seen him play since he's been in the league. But you could go down the list. It wasn't just him, and even though I struggled offensively, putting the ball in the basket, we didn't let that frustrate us. They kept hooping and kept encouraging me to go do what I do.
JJ was telling us that in the timeouts late, there's a play for against its own, there's a play against man. But can you walk us through when you get the ball, you see Gobert come in, how you kind of decide to split the double, like what's going through your head in the time? I know it's instinct, but can you walk us through that last play?
They did a good job. The play we were trying to run, they did a good job, kind of killing the play early. Jaden pushed me out to a position that I didn't want to catch it, but got the ball and seen DA run it up for a screen. Did a good job sprinting into it. So that Rudy had to, try to follow suit so he could be, up to touch on the screen. And with him running full speed towards me and me running towards him, I have the, edge on being able to, go both ways. And when I seen him on the outside, obviously, like you said, it's instincts. Got by Vincenzo, set up for a charge. So I couldn't get all the way to the rim and just got a good spot and put up a good floater. It's good to see you work.
Good to have a job. I want to be honest right now. No LeBron, no Luka. How much is this on you, not just your school, but to lead the team when you have two of the other stars out? Don't give me that old...
Obviously, even when they're playing, I put a big responsibility on myself. It's different responsibilities, obviously, because they do so much for our team. But when we don't have them, the responsibility changes. But it's not. I wouldn't say it's physically. It's a little more, but I'm always mentally trying to figure out how I can help with them too and without them too. So it's definitely different in the sense of how I have to play and how I have to conduct myself. I can't get frustrated because at that time everybody's looking at me, and in those situations you have to be calm to kind of crumble in those situations. But you got to keep the energy high, you got to keep the spirit high, and but saying all that, everybody, not just them two, please come back.
I think it was Dan, you told this summer a quote along the lines of, I sometimes think about the NBA and like I was literally born to play basketball. Up prior to Sunday, you already had a pretty blessed basketball existence, but what's it like reaching this plane that you're on currently?
Excuse me. I don't know. This is a funny story. I was with my mom's best friend. I was probably like 7, and I didn't even really play basketball yet. And she asked me what I wanted to do when I was older, and I said I wanted to play in the NBA. And I played basketball in the yard and stuff. And she was like, because I played a lot of baseball, and she was like, "Oh, you mean the MLB?" And I was like, "No, I want to play in the NBA." And I don't know why I said it, because I didn't love the game at that point, but there's just something about the grind, having opportunity to go show what you're made of. I fell in love with the game because my brother loved it. I got to spend a lot of time with him. Both my parents played, so it was kind of it was meant to be. And yeah, it's obvious fun when it's high, but as low as you get, sometimes the struggle's fun too. You have to figure out how to get through it. You got to be a problem solver on the go. It's not easy, but the whole, you know, situation of figuring it out, continuing to play well, those things are fun to me because, obviously teams are always going to, scout and try to do things here and there, but you can always, counter adjust to what, teams are doing. So, um, it's been a fun week, but there's a lot of basketball.
JJ told us pregame that he believes that the team will benefit from this early season adversity and that guys will get better. You mentioned that Jake. You said this is probably his best game of his career up to this point. How do you see the benefit from the adversity you guys are facing in terms of health, and what do you think this can mean for him once you guys get healthier?
I think it means a lot, and it's not. I mean, you obviously don't want situations like this, but like JJ said, in the long run, it can be good because guys' confidence are going to be high if we continue to win. You get reps in situations where you might not, and because you never know what's going to happen. The NBA is a full of unknown, and you might be put in a position in 2 months that you haven't been in, but you go back to now and you've had those reps. So I think it's very beneficial. And like you said, Jake, he was huge tonight. I mean, he fried us a couple times last year when he was in Memphis, so he played well then too. But he was amazing. Da was great. Rue was great. Vando, you could go down the list. Yeah, it's going to be good for us in the long run.
So what's it been like to be embraced by your team and your teammates this week, the way you have been, and not just obviously you getting to experience this stuff, but like, I don't know if you saw Luka's tweet after the game.
I don't have Twitter.
He tweeted a goat emoji. He posted about it on.
He probably talked about himself.
But I mean, LeBron, peers around the league and different things, but particularly like the guys that are here in the room and the way they've sort of celebrated your successes with you.
It's been special. In those situations, like, I don't remember seeing the ball go in the basket. For some reason, I knew it went in the basket. I kind of probably blacked out a little bit. And then I looked down towards the bench and everybody's running towards me. It's a good feeling. The camaraderie that we have, that we've built in a short period of time has been great. And we're going to continue to do that. And, like I said, everybody get back. Luka, hurry up. Brian, hurry up. And stop talking about yourself, Luka. Are we done? Oh, perfect. Welcome, DK.
JJ, what's the roller coaster of emotions like where build a big lead, despite being shorthanded, they cut it all the way down, get ahead with the Randall bucket, and then you got to find a way to get your guys a shot in those final seconds. How do you go up and down there?
I'll be honest with you, it wasn't much of an emotional roller coaster for me. I don't think it was for our guys either. We executed against the zone. We had a couple, offensive down drop-off passes that we just bobbled around the rim, but we actually did a good job executing and missed some really good threes. There was no break in composure. There was no break in competitive spirit. There was no break in belief of whether or not we could win the game. I thought the guys, those last two plays, because they ran zone for 4.5 minutes. So those last two plays, to drop two plays, one versus man, one versus zone. They ended up running man both times for us to get that execution, get it to the right guy, create an advantage, both times really. We had an advantage. Austin was easily going to race that and create a 5-on-4 or a 4-on-3. So that was huge from our guys. I'm so proud of this group right now. Honestly, it's from where we were like 3 weeks ago, where we're discombobulated and guys are missing training camp and guys are modified participants. We're starting to come together. And I've asked a lot of these guys, and I'm asking a lot of them while we're undermanned, and they're delivering. They're delivering. They earned this victory.
clearly they were paying a lot of attention to Austin, and he ends up with a career high tying 16 assists. But for him to